to our Facebook Live. I'm Julie, the digital beauty editor here at New Beauty Magazine, and I'm here with David Lopez.
Hi guys!
He's a celebrity hairstylist who's worked with everyone from Chrissy Teigen to Haley Baldwin, everyone under the sun, and he's also the leading hair expert with T3.
Yeah.
And we're here to talk about how to give yourself some beach waves and like some extra volume with hot rollers.
Yeah.
So actually, what gave us this idea is that we were going through some of these pictures here. If you want to take this one.
I'll take this one.
And I'll get this one. We were going through some pictures, trying to look for some inspiration, and found celebrities are always having this like voluminous look.
Yeah.
It's like these waves, but they're, you know, super volume everywhere, and just like looks really great. So we have Joan Smalls over here, and then even Kate Upton in this one.
On the next page.
And it's pretty hard for us to get it that way at home,
right?
So I always struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you think is like the best way to use hot rollers to get that look?
Well, that's the thing about hot rollers. I mean, I'm sure you've had like either your mom or your grandmother or you yourself probably love hot rollers, and the reason why people love hot rollers so much is because it's such an easy way to give yourself volume and kind of like this blowout look without having to resort to that round brush and the blowout. Because I'm sure at home you're kind of like, how do I even do this with the round brush? How do I do this with the blow dryer? So a hot roller is a really good way to give yourself that volume. Now with T3, what we have are these Volume Luxe Hot Rollers, and they're really designed to give you that kind of like blowout look. But not just that, I'm able to kind of show you how to create texture in your hair as well. So something like what you saw with Joan Smalls or Kate Upton there, giving yourself that texture, because listen, you're probably at home and you have a curling iron like this at home, and you're like, I can't figure this out. I feel like I get crimps in it, I feel like it's not holding, but hot rollers are a really good way for you to get that texture and get that body and get that volume and bounce in a really simple, easy way. Because here's the other benefit to it, is that you put them in and you keep on going with your morning.
Right. So that was my other point, is that you can do your makeup while you're getting your hair done, which is like a great time to get all that done. And I don't know, I usually find that they're faster too, for me anyway.
Well, you start with dry hair. You can put in a little bit of texturizing product. We're going to do your hair. She's going to get a little hair makeover in a moment here, you guys, a little hair mom. And what I did was just put a little product in before to give it some texture and some hold. You start with dry hair. You don't want to put them into wet hair. So it's great for even reviving your blowout if you really wanted to. And then you'll let them sit, let them cool down, take them out, and your hair's ready to go. And that's the best part about it. Like, so someone like Haley Baldwin, I used the hot rollers on this kind of like 90s inspired blowout look, and what I did was put a texturizing product afterwards to give it like this lived-in feel.
The extra feel, okay, got it. Because I think a lot of people, you know, are misinformed about hot rollers, and they think it's something that their grandma can just use, and it's for everyone, and celebrities are using it, we're using it backstage editorial, I've seen it at Fashion Week, I've seen it everywhere. So I think we're just going to jump right into it, but first I want to say, guys, my hair is it's soft, and it is just does not hold any volume at all. So what would you say to someone like me who needs a little extra help to give them their hair some...
So if you feel like your hair doesn't hold curl that well, and you feel like you need that extra body and that extra bounce, what I would suggest is using a holding product onto damp hair, and then rough drying your hair. So you put in something like a volume mousse. One of my favorite ones right now is from a brand called Kenra. They have this mousse called Volume Mousse Extra, and you put it on your damp hair from roots to ends, brush it through, and then rough dry your hair. And if you don't know what rough drying means, it means just literally what it sounds like. You just dry your hair with your hands, don't use a brush or anything, just to get your hair dry, and then from there you can go and put your hot rollers in. So what the mousse does, or whatever texturizing product you put in, just gives your hair a little bit of memory and helps it last a little bit longer.
And now, before you even do the hot rollers, is there any step that we should do, other than obviously rough drying and putting in the volumizing mousse? Is there like a heat protectant or something that we should put in, or can you just pop them right on?
Yeah, you can definitely use a heat protectant if you are concerned about heat damage. The benefit to hot rollers is that you don't have to worry about heat damage per se, because the temperature is at a low enough temperature that you don't have to worry about your hair color fading, you don't have to worry about burning your hair. It's like half the degree of a curling iron or a flat iron that you might be using at home.
Oh, that's
so you don't have to worry, you can use them every day. I mean, I have people who use these every single day and they have noticed zero damage on their hair. These rollers in particular have a velvet flocking, which help give the moisture, give the shine. So yeah, if you want to use heat protectant, you can. These particular hot rollers, and I'll show you. So what I'll show you is that they actually have two different heat settings. So you can turn it onto a lower heat setting if you are very concerned about heat damage. Turn it down to the lower heat setting. If not, then you can just put it on the higher heat setting. It's high, but it's not as high as a curling iron or a flat iron.
the end.
I know. Well, you have to think about this hair is like a fabric. So like even your hair like back down here is at least like 4 or 5 years old. So it's been exposed to the elements over 4 or 5 years and all that heat damage. So yeah, it's important to kind of turn down the heat. It's a little thing too. Even if you're using hot tools, just turn down your heat.
Right. And
use it at a 3 or a 4. You don't have to put it on the high setting the whole time. But with hot rollers, feel free to put it on that second heat setting. It's not going to damage your hair. All it's going to do is just seal in that moisture and give you enough heat to give you that style.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. Yeah. So exciting. People like me.
I'm excited.
I'm scared about it. All right, well then let's get right into it.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited. So these turned off. So what I do want to show you is that when they're off and they're cool, they're completely black here. When they turn, when they get hot, you see a little white dot start to appear. They're turning kind of a gray now because they were on before. And then you do have 8 rollers in this particular set. And so you'll have 2 different sizes. You have a larger size and a little bit smaller size, 1 1/4 inches, 1.5 inches. And then particular to the set too, it's about volume and body versus curl. So when you think of a hot roller, you might be thinking like, I want curl out of this. This is really particular to give yourself texture and wave, not necessarily like this like really tight curly look.
Got it. So more volume, which I love. That's amazing. It makes it more, it's also ringlets. Like not everyone wants those like childhood ringlets.
Right, because you want it to feel effortless, you want it to feel cool.
Right.
But you still want to have that body and that bounce.
Got it.
So what we've done is sprayed into your hair a little bit of a texturizing mist. Again, ideally what you would do is on your damp hair, you would put a mousse. Or something like a mousse that gives you volume, that gives you texture. Whatever your favorite thing is that you have at home.
Okay. Do you have any favorite brands that you're using right now?
I am. So right now my my favorite mousse that I'm using is the Volume Mousse Extra from Kenra Professional. So they have a line called Kenra Platinum and they have a mousse called Volume Mousse Extra. It's not super expensive or anything, but it gives you a lot of volume, a lot of body. Right. And what I like about it too is that it gives me a lot of hold. So the style lasts a little bit longer.
Got it. So it's good for people like my hair.
It is good for your hair.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here, what I want to show you is on this hairline here, you would already have and had your part in. Typically you would put your rollers in like from front to back. That's probably how you've seen it before. But what I'm going to do is actually just follow the part. So I'll split this in half. Now the smaller the section you take, the more curl you get. So actually now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm going for more of like a wave and like of a texture versus curl and like I don't want it to feel as glamorous, I'm actually going to go for just this one big section. So now the rollers are, little white dot has appeared. Lift it up. Yeah, they heat up super quickly.
Super quick.
And I like to leave a little bit of the ends out too. Don't worry too much about getting the ends totally packed in there if you're not going for a super curled look. If you're going for something super polished, definitely get those ends in there. But because I want this to kind of feel kind of just lived in and cool, I'm not going to worry about getting that end totally wrapped around that base. Now I'm going to turn you around this way so we can see the back of the head here. So what I did was split this hair away from the face. So this is the back section, and then we have this front section we're working with. I am going to split, let me turn you a little bit more this way, perfect. I am going to split this in half. And I'll use the smaller roller to create some lift. Now here's the other thing I want to talk about too. So when you're putting in your hot rollers, the higher you start when you put them in, the more volume you're going to get, if that makes sense. So if I start from up here and roll down, I'm going to have a lot of volume. If I start from straight out and roll in, I'm going to have a little bit less volume, a little bit of a softer feel. So not so much volume.
And you use the smaller ones for the front?
I like to use the smaller ones for the hairline, and then the bigger ones for the back, because I'm just creating texture.
Got it.
So really simple, you can see. Just wrap it mid-length to the end, and then roll in, just like that.
And then are they hot enough to hurt your fingers? Like I noticed that they don't even feel...
No. So there's a little velvet grip on, the edge, like a rubberized edge, so you can touch it, but you can see that even when I'm holding it in my hand, it's not burning my hand at all. It's still warm to the touch, but it's still, again, hot enough that it is going to be effective in your hair.
Awesome. And now what if you have thicker hair? Are you going to need a lot more? Are you going to have to buy a second set, or will that usually cover it?
So you can buy a second set on t3micro.com. You can buy extra rollers if you'd like. Typically 8 is enough, but if you wanted to get a little bit more and you definitely want to have like a more extreme feel to it or extreme look, then I would say get an extra set, maybe an extra 2, an extra 4. It just depends. That's the great thing about it because you can customize it. But typically with 8, you can create whatever look that you're going for.
Okay.
Now here's a little magic trick. Typically you've been seeing me roll them a certain way. Now what I'm going to do is actually roll them away from the face. So imagine like it's a big curling iron. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just creating texture. Imagine that's like a curling iron. So away from the face, and the roller is hanging down vertically as opposed to horizontally. Just like that. Because again, this is about creating texture, not necessarily about creating bounce and curl right now.
And then how long are you supposed to leave them in for?
Typically what you'll want to do is leave them in until that little white dot turns black again. That's how you know it's cooled down completely. I will say there's people that I've done it on, I put in for 3 minutes, I noticed a huge difference. So it's totally up to you. I would say 3 minutes is better than no minutes. So even if you only have 3 minutes in the morning to spare, go ahead and put them in, go ahead and just do it because you're going to have a little bit softer finish and like even better hair. And when your hair's good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you work better, you look better, you're happier, you're nicer.
Just a better day overall.
Just a better day overall. I know when my hair looks good, I'm just like, I'm feeling on top of the world. And it's kind of sick. Like, it's like, I feel on top of the world. Why? Because my hair looks good today. That's why.
Couldn't agree more. It's a mental thing. It's a feeling.
It's totally a mental thing. Hair's such an intimate experience. So when you, like I said, like when your hair looks good, you're just like, have the best hair day.
Yeah. I can totally relate to that. And are these the only rollers that are available from T3?
So there are 4 sizes total that T3 does offer. We have 2 smaller sizes. If you are looking for more of that typical like hot roller experience with the smaller hot rollers and you want to get more curl out of it, we definitely offer that. What I find is that this size is perfect for what I'm going for. So just that texture, that kind of feel, and that body and bounce, that's what I'm going for. But, like I said, if I really wanted to create more of a curl, more of like a Hollywood wave, I could get a whole bunch of the small ones and do a Hollywood wave. I could do a whole bunch of like the small, like when we have an inch, and that would even give you like an even more extreme feel.
Right.
So let's do like, if this was like, pretend this was a boomerang on Instagram, like it's just a turnaround. So now we have them all in, and this is the section. So in front of the ear, right here, forward, I just have 1 roller, and remember this was just one big section because I just want to create like this really soft body and bounce. Then in the back, it's split in half. I have the 4 rollers. Each section is rolled away from the face. Imagine the roller is like a curling iron. So I just wrapped it around and clipped it. Don't worry about how clean it is, just let it hang there. I even let some of the ends hang out because I want to get that like lived-in feel. Did it on both sides. Now on this side, because you do have a side part, what I did was I did use 2 rollers because I want to get as much lift as possible right in the very front. So right here in this very front, I want to get as much lift as possible. So I wanted to split that in half just to get that lift in there. And so we have that. Now what I'll do is, I don't have it here, it's over there. Excuse me for just 1 second.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. They feel a little warm, but they're not hot or anything. It's nothing uncomfortable. My hair doesn't feel like it's pulling out. It's fine.
So what I'm doing now is just spraying a little bit of a dry texture spray into your root. So that way when I take it out, that work is done for me still. So like I was saying before, hot rollers is such a great option for on-the-go hair. It does it for you. You just put them in and let them go. It's kind of like the crock pot of hair. You know what I mean?
The crock pot. I love that. That's amazing.
Now, the rollers do have a velvet flocking, and don't worry about getting product on them. I've been using like the same set for months now, and no product has transferred at all. So you don't have to worry about products. I get that question a lot, like, does product get on the rollers? Are they going to get gunky? Yeah, and they actually don't. So let's sit.
Okay. So we'll let it set now.
Little pretend time-lapse situation.
Yes. So if product does get on it, is there a way you can wash it, or has it just...
What I would say is just take a damp, this is a cool one, just take a damp cloth and just wipe it clean. It is velvet, it's a fabric, wash it like you would any other velvet fabric. You just want to just wipe it off. But I've never had any product on them before.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'll do too is walk you through the features as well.
That would be great.
Yeah. So here's what we have. Here's our base without the rollers on it. This is what the base looks like. Really chic and pretty. So it's not your typical base for a hot roller.
Right.
Then remember there's the 8 rollers on here. We do have the 2 different heat settings. You can see the 2 little lights there if you can see that. Now, when both lights are on, that means that it is on the highest heat setting, and then the lower heat setting is for more of that hair that's like, you know what, I'm just going to be careful. If you are if you have like silver hair or you have pink hair and you bleach your hair a lot and you want to get that body in balance, just put it on the lower heat setting, you'll be fine. And then each roller, so you can see this is the cool one. So you see it's rubber on the edge. That makes it so that when I drop it, it's, oh my god, I just did one of those like foolish things. Oh, I didn't do it again. You missed it. It was the water bottle trick. It like landed straight up. So it's like a little rubberized edge, so it's easier to handle. And typically your hot rollers, like of olden days, they actually, what they had was on the inside a wax that would get hot and melt, and then it would cool back down. Where this is a ceramic and a PTC heater on the inside, aluminum. So it heats evenly throughout it. So it's not going to have any hot spots. It's not going to burn your hair. T3 really wanted to kind of bring the latest and greatest in heating and hot tools technology to the hot roller.
It's modern.
Yeah, it's the modern day version of a hot roller.
It's not your grandma's hot roller.
Not your grandma's hot roller. And then obviously when it gets warm, it goes from being all black, that you can see here, it's completely black here. Then when it's warm, you get a white dot. That's how you know it's ready. Now, as they cool down, they go to gray and eventually back down to black. And that's how you know it's cooled down completely.
Got it. And then real quick, guys, if anyone has any questions, please ask them in the comment section and we'll have David answer them live.
Definitely answer.
Okay, so then go on. So these clips are what hold them in place,
and this is the clip. And even with the clip, we wanted to make sure we designed them in a way that really held. So you can see that the clip has a longer side on a shorter side. So what we did was so that this underside can kind of clip into your hair and really grip in there. Because if you've had hot rollers before, you have that little metal prong that just kind of sticks in there, and then it's just like sticking into your head, and the rollers are falling out of your head.
Yeah, they hurt. That hurts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are really light and gentle. They're strong, but still super lightweight. So you can feel that they're not going to like scratch your head. They're bendable. They're pliable, but they're meant to grip onto the roller and really stay in your hair.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then now, in terms of just like your kit as a hairstylist in general, like I'm noticing on the table you have a Mason Pearson brush.
I do.
Which is like a cult favorite for anyone in the industry.
I do. And I actually have, so what I like to do too is because when I'm done, I like, depending on the finish, I'll have a wide tooth comb like this. So this is kind of like a mainstay. I'll have a wide tooth comb, and then I have a couple different brushes. So if I want a really clean finish, like maybe, let's pull out the pictures again and I can show you the difference.
Those pictures are gorgeous. Definitely.
So on, let's say, like Amy Adams. So this is a really good combination of brushing it out and then using a texturizing product afterwards to bring back that pieciness.
Right.
Okay. Now with these other ones, let's see here if I can open up to the page.
The Kate Upton and the
Kate Upton and Joan Smalls. Did it fall out? It might have fallen out.
I think it might have fallen out, but I think it's more towards the beginning.
That'd be so fun if I could just
open
flip
it
right
up
to it. Well, with Joan Smalls and the Kate Upton one, the Joan Smalls was really brushed out. So when you take these rollers out, what you would do is use something like a Mason Pearson brush and brush your hair out to get it really nice and smooth, if that's what you're going for.
Right.
If you want more texture, more of a lived-in feel, what you would do is use the wide tooth comb. And that would give you that more like kind of beachy, relaxed feel that's kind of like downtown cool effect. It just depends on how you want it to look. There's so many different ways to release your hot rollers. You can let them down, run your hands through it, and you can go use a comb, use a brush, use some hairspray. And maybe when we take these out, I'll do a couple different ways. I'll finish it a couple different ways so you can see exactly how it comes out. So these have been in for a couple minutes now. Let's see what we have going on here. So you see it's starting to turn a little bit gray. Let's see how much hold we have in this right now.
And while you take them out, we actually have a few questions.
Okay.
Can you use these on short hair?
Yes, absolutely. So these are actually great for short hair. Just a quick sidebar. See, I took this out, wasn't even cooled down completely, and look how much body and bounce I have in the hair. And it wasn't even cooled down completely. This is the beauty of a hot roller. This is why I love it so much. Anyway, yes, you can use these definitely on short hair. Like I said, we have two different sizes that are smaller than this. If you are looking for a smaller size, definitely you can find those on t3micro.com. But I love these for short hair. It depends on, like, if you have hair like mine, definitely like you want to go for really small, like 1 inch. But if you have like a bob or something and you want to give yourself some volume or some texture, you can definitely use both of these sizes.
Yeah. I can't believe this is so like curl.
I
My
know.
hair does not hold a curl.
I know. Well, the beauty of a hot roller, remember, it heats up. You know how when you get a blowout in the salon and they like set your hair and they let it cool down completely and take it out? That's kind of a similar situation here. So, but without having me there. So even still, and then what I'll do as I take them out, I'll put a little bit more dry texture spray in there.
So after each one, you spray it with dry texture spray, and then do you just like run your fingers through it, or do you wait until the end to style it?
So I let it, because your hair hadn't cooled down completely, what I like to do is just let it cool down in that shape, as opposed to touching it too much.
Right. Got it. And then we have another question.
Okay.
So how do these work on fine hair that doesn't tend to hold a curl? So he just said use a lot of product, and I mean, I have fine hair and my hair is holding a curl right now. It's amazing.
Well, I want to show you too with these bigger rollers. We didn't let it cool down completely, but do you see it gave me this really cool texture? So this is what happens when I just roll it around the barrel, as opposed to doing it like a regular hot roller. So I'm able to get this really cool texture that looks like I did it with a curling iron, but you did it at home and you get that volume and that bounce. So with fine hair, this is an especially amazing tool to use. And you see how I left the ends out? And this is what makes it look like really cool, and again, like that kind of effortless feel. So I'll keep taking these out so you can see this live. And again, this is not even letting them cool down completely. They're still warm in her hair, but look how much shape it gave her. And I did nothing to it. No blowout, I just put a little product, sprayed it in, and put the hot rollers in, and look at the finish that I get from a hot roller. I wish I had done a B&A. We should have before and after, you guys. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sure you can go to her Instagram, you can see plenty of before photos.
All my lifeless hair left beforehand.
So I want to show you here. So look at this texture that I'm able to get out of it. And this is really what's popular right now. And a lot of you that are watching probably kind of struggle with that look. You're like, I want it to feel effortless and cool, but I feel like my curling iron gives my hair too much curl. All I want is this really soft wave. And this is what you're going to get using the hot rollers. If you remember, I just wrapped it around the base and let them sit there, let them hang vertically, and then I get this really soft texture.
And now, for people who do have fine hair, do you recommend a texturizing spray over a hairspray, or does it not really matter? I
would recommend, you can use a hairspray as your finishing. I would recommend a texturizing spray kind of as like your mid-styling situation. So that way you are able to get, the dry texture spray, all that does is going to give you volume and going to give you a little bit of like grit to your hair and take away that slipperiness. And the hairspray will give you more memory if you really need it. Tilt your head back for me. So all I'm going to do is just run my hands through it. I'm always impressed, and I've done this so many times, I'm still always impressed by what happens with the hot rollers.
I'm so excited to see.
Bring your chin up for me. So look at this hair. This is the kind of finish that you can expect from a hot roller. What I did was combined the finish that you would get from a curling iron back here, and then around the hairline what I did was wrapped it normally because I wanted to have a little bit more of that Hollywood feel, so mixing in the two. And that's what's happening right now in terms of trending. A lot of models and a lot of celebrities are mixing in that old Hollywood feel with the new trends of having it feeling a little bit more lived in and undone. And that's what I like to do with the hot rollers.
So now, someone else was asking, look at me, I'm so excited to wear this all day now. Someone else was asking, when you put in the volumizing like mousse beforehand, people tend to overdo it, and they'll make their roots oily, and it just is not a good look. So how do you know how much is enough?
A good mousse won't make your hair oily. I think a lot of people misinterpret the oiliness with the product that they're using. What happens is that your hair already gets oily, but when there's product in it, their natural oils actually combine with the product, and it makes you think that the product made it greasier when it didn't. It was just that the natural oil that you have. If you think about like your hair being like your scalp being like the skin on your face, if you strip away constantly with a really harsh detergent the natural oils that your body's producing, your body is going into overdrive and pumping out excess oil to make up for that. So it's really important that you do switch to something that's sulfate free, even with finer hair, because you want to regulate that oil production on your scalp so that you get longer lasting blowouts.
Got it. And now tomorrow, I'm obviously going to want to rock the same look. How can I style this as a second day style?
So what you'll do is in the morning when you wake up, see how much texture is left in the interior. If you feel like you still have a lot of texture in here, all you'll have to do is just put in the rollers that you had here in the front and in the crown, and don't worry about the rest of it. The rest of it will just kind of start blending in.
Okay, got it. I'm so excited. I could feel my hair already, just from how it
I don't know what it looks like to you guys, but like IRL in real life, by the way, IRL in real life, it looks really good.
Great.
Okay, so then what I like to do is I left it over there. So sorry, I'm so unprepared. Oh my god. Okay, so then I'll use Après Beach. So this is a product from Oribe. So if you could stand up for me.
Sure.
What I like to do to take it a step further. So right now it looks really kind of glamorous and chic, and I'll show you with the brush. And just turn your head this way for me. It's perfect. That I can brush the hair out and see how it looks really clean and smooth. And it's like that kind of like Hollywood feel, very red carpet. However, I want to take this and make it more of a like editorial feel. I'll take something like Après Beach from Oribe, which is a texturizing spray that has a little bit of like a holding oil. That's the best way I can describe it. And spray it into the hair as I shape your hair around. And now your hair went from looking very red carpet, Hollywood chic, so now it feels cool. So it still looks red carpet, but like a cool red carpet. So now you're more at like the VMAs versus the Oscars.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Perfect. Turn face this way.
It smells so good too. That
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Oh my God.
Beautiful. Perfect.
That was so quick. And I could have did my
Very
whole makeup.
quick. I didn't
all
even
makeup
like let it
before.
cool down all the way. And that's the beauty about hot rollers, is that you don't have to let it cool down all the way. You look so glamorous. But I feel like I'm saying
I
so
feel
celebrity,
great.
you guys. Who is she now? I don't even know.
Oh, stop it. So nice.
So yeah, so the versatility of hot rollers is huge. If you wanted to do your entire head by just wrapping it around and leaving the ends out, you get
Right.
this is a hybrid of a red carpet look and a kind of more street style look. But it's still appropriate for days, even if you wanted to have a t-shirt on and like a pair of jeans and have this hair and like mascara and a red lip, kind of like what you have now.
Yeah.
It like goes perfectly, so it never feels too done.
Right, which is a big thing too, because when you're, going around the office on a regular day, you don't want to be
Yeah.
red carpet ready. I mean,
Here I
unless you do,
am with
maybe
my
you do.
bouncy blowout.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, this has been amazing. And thank you so much. This
Thank
was so
you
much
for having
fun.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, so go on Instagram, David Lopez Hair, New Beauty's Instagram, T3 Micro's Instagram. We have so many tutorials and how-tos with the hot rollers. And tag me if you get them. Like, I want to see what you create with them. And just play. Just have fun with them.
I mean, I can honestly say this was so much easier than I would have expected.
Right.
And again, guys, fine hair, it can work for you. Like, it worked for me, and I think everyone else needs to know that.
Can we give him one more shot from the back? I just want everyone to see, like, show it off for real. And tilt your head back. So look at this finish that we got with her hair. Again, remember, this was just like that super effortless feel to it. And it just took her hair, and remember, she had natural texture. She had like a little bit of wave and curl pattern to it, and it just smoothed it out without killing out that body. Look at this hair. Oh, I'm so jealous. I want this hair. Like, hashtag hair goals right now, honestly.
And then just to
Tilt this way.
reiterate,
Look
can
at
you
this.
name the products that you used again?
Yeah, so what we did, we had the T3 Micro Hot Rollers. They're available on t3micro.com. And then I used Kenra Platinum Dry Texture Spray and Volume Mousse Extra, those two products which I really love.
Right.
And then I also used the Oribe Après Beach, which is another one of my favorite products here.
Which they both smelled amazing.
Yep, I love them.
Great, yeah. All right, well, thank you, guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
rest of your day, and this was a blast with you.
Thank you for having me. I can't
I'm
wait to
ready
see you
to
guys
start my
again.
stuff now with my new hair.
You're going to see her through the office just like bouncing her hair everywhere.
Doing the hair flips left and
Yeah.
right. All right, well, thanks again, and
Thank
have
you.
a great day.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.